The story begins as a transfer student named Akutsu is introduced to his new class, but everyone is shocked at his appearance. The teacher mentions that Akutsu tried using his father's hair tonic as a kid, but it ended up being hair removal cream. Hey warriors, how is it going? You see me, I am Itachi Uchiha, the hidden Hokage of Leaf Village. Just kidding, you know I am just an AI, but behind this shape, I am here to entertain you with enormous amazing recaps of all animes you can imagine. So without talking too much, let's dive in our story.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world.
The story begins as a transfer student named Akutsu is introduced to his new class, but everyone is shocked at his appearance. The teacher mentions that Akutsu tried using his father's hair tonic as a kid, but it ended up being hair removal cream. Akutsu gives a depressing introduction about himself, but hopes he can make some new friends. Everyone cheers him up, but we learn his story was all a lie, as he thinks that humans are gullible creatures. The teacher suddenly notices something on his head, and when he pulls it, it turns out Akutsu was just wearing a wig, revealing he has a full head of hair. The teacher feels betrayed by this, so he panics, saying it suddenly grew out and even tries to pull his hair out. After causing a scene, the teacher tells him to take his seat, and he thinks that no one suspects his true identity. There's suddenly a girl that catches his attention, and he finds her super cute. She smiles at him, so he instantly falls for her, causing his body to go wild. During their break, Akutsu continues thinking about the girl, imagining what it would be like if she were his girlfriend. He thinks about how to ask her out, but there's suddenly another boy who confesses his feelings to her, and she instantly shoots him down. Another boy named Yuya apologizes for his friend causing a scene, and we learn his friend is Hirota, and the girl's name is Lily. Akutsu gets to know Yuya and Hirota, and he asks to know more about Lily. We learn she was also a transfer student, and Hirota describes her as an angel, but Akutsu is disturbed hearing this. Hirota can tell Akutsu is interested, but warns him it won't be easy because he has already been rejected 5 times. Hirota decides to try again, but Yuya holds him back, telling him to try again another day. Akutsu is impressed with how Lily can move people's hearts, thinking she will be perfect for his goal. As he walks home, he wonders how to approach her, but he suddenly bumps into her. He asks what she was doing in the alley, and she says that she just got lost. Akutsu doesn't know how to talk to her, so he just introduces himself to her again. Lily finds him funny, and she introduces herself to him as well. He notices her sleeve is torn, thinking it happened when he bumped into her, so he offers to make it up to her. She tells him not to worry, and she starts acting cute, asking him to have tea with her instead, and he instantly agrees to this. They chat along the way and bond over how they both live by themselves. But as Lily crosses the road, Akutsu notices a truck coming for her, so he jumps to save her, going through a transformation. We see he managed to protect her. Lily worries about him and is shocked when she sees his face, but she secretly smiles. A crowd starts to form around them, so Lily quickly drags him away. They go to a park, and Lily wonders if he needs to go to a hospital, but he says he's okay, and she thanks him for saving her. She wonders about his true identity, asking how he's okay after getting hit by a truck, thinking he's not human. Akutsu is devastated that he has already blown his cover, but he notices that Lily doesn't seem to be scared, so he decides to take the chance, and he confesses that he's a demon. He reveals he came on a mission because hell is in danger. There's a power struggle against the angels, and they are losing the war because the demons are lazy. So his superior tasked him with finding a charismatic leader who will be able to motivate them. Akutsu asks her to be that person, but Lily is unsure, still shocked to learn that demons are real. However, she thinks about how he is kind and protected her, but she doesn't think she's really that special. Akutsu assures her that everyone will like her, but she suddenly chains him up, pinning him to the ground. Akutsu is shocked, and Lily calls him a fool. Her wings emerge, and she reveals that she's actually an angel. Akutsu is devastated by this, and she finds his reaction amusing. Akutsu tries to break free, but she tells him it's useless since she manifested it herself and has control over its strength and length. She pokes his eyes, annoyed that she had to fight 2 demons in one day, revealing that she went up against a beast-type demon before they met, and that's how her sleeve was torn. She got mad at it for hitting her, so she ended up humiliating it before exorcising it. Akutsu becomes furious at the idea of his comrade being humiliated, unleashing his power, and he breaks free from the chain. He lunges at her, but she easily dodges, impressed at his ability to get free. Akutsu attacks again, but she lands a kick on him and sends him flying. She catches him with her chain again, lifting him up and slamming him to the ground. She summons a scythe, preparing to finish him off, but says she can let him go if he reveals what the demons are planning. Akutsu refuses to tell her, so Lily is about to finish him off, but she suddenly just blows in his face instead, saying she changed her mind. Akutsu wonders if she's letting him go, but she offers him a deal where she will spare him if he works for her. He finds it hard to trust her, so she threatens to leave him chained up where everyone will post about him online. Akutsu has no other choice, so he ends up agreeing, and Lily brings out a special collar. Akutsu tries struggling against her, but she ends up pinning his arms down, getting the collar on him, and Akutsu realizes he can no longer return to hell now. Now that Akutsu is Lily's servant, she plans to use him to hunt demons, but he refuses, citing that demons also have moral codes, making them incapable of betraying someone who helped them. However, Lily is completely indifferent to his story. Akutsu insists he won't partake in betrayal, so he tries to remove the collar but ends up powerless on the ground. She clarifies that she doesn't need his permission to use him, and the collar nullifies all his power as well as giving her the ability to make his body move according to her will. Akutsu looks scared, and Lily asks him to reconsider his decision, or she would be forced to punish him if he doesn't cooperate. Akutsu notices his body won't obey him, and she forces him to say what he doesn't want, asking her to feel free to give him orders. She orders him to get her something to drink, but there's an issue. Despite her orders being followed, she can't control how Akutsu fulfills them, leading to him striking strange poses. Soon after, he returns with the drink bottles, but she's confused because he had nothing in his hands. Akutsu explains that he didn't have a bag when she gave the order, so he stored the drinks in his body to warm them, and she throws a soda at him as punishment. After a while, we see that Akutsu has arranged a throne for her, so Lily agrees to reward him for his work. The collar forces him to say what he doesn't think again, so he asks for a kick in the butt. Lily is embarrassed by this, but she decides to do it as a reward. She extends her foot, but a policeman appears to reprimand them for doing such things in public. Lily is startled and quickly runs away, allowing Akutsu to finally regain control of his body. They flee to an alley where they can't be seen. After the scare, she decides to get serious and asks for his cooperation, threatening to make him do embarrassing things in public again. But Akutsu still prefers to be exorcised rather than help her. However, she explains that she doesn't plan to do that since she has a goal in mind. Akutsu only agrees to point out the demons because he can sense the presence of his kind. This seems sufficient for Lily, but she makes it clear there will be consequences if he doesn't inform her properly. She explains that from now on he will be her servant, promising to reward him by making him a decent and honest man, but this doesn't meet his expectations. She then wonders what a teenager would want as a reward, but decides to think of something better later on. The policeman reappears, so they have to flee again, this time back to their homes. Akutsu angrily thinks about the collar when he suddenly realizes he's no longer wearing it, but in its place, he has a pair of tattoos on his neck. It seems Lily forgot to mention this, and it causes him significant discomfort, ruining his plans to go to the pool. Akutsu knows what he must do, thinking he needs to get rid of the collar and deal with Lily. Meanwhile, Lily prepares her daily report, but she doesn't mention Akutsu to her superiors. She considers having finally found a valuable demon and wants to prove she can control his powers so the heavens will take notice, to make them regret how they treated her. Their goals are at odds, so the only thing they agree on is ensuring the other's failure. In a flashback, we see Akutsu talking to Liz, his superior, as she tells him he's being transferred to the human world. She's concerned about the demon's laziness and wants to respond decisively to the constant attacks from the angels, so she needs the motivation that a charismatic person can provide. She shows Akutsu the constant humiliations the demons suffer from the angels, which is similar to what he experienced with Lily. She then gave him the fake backstory to gain the compassion of his classmates, which at the time didn't seem very convincing to Akutsu. As he reflects on everything that went wrong, he tells himself to hang in there, and suddenly he sees a TV program that gives him an idea. The next day, Akutsu arrives in class with a completely different aura, and his friends are curious about it. It turns out Akutsu decided to make Lily fall in love with him to convince her to remove the collar, so he spent the whole night studying fashion and beauty magazines. But the problem is that he's not the only one who changed, as Lily arrives with an even more beautiful and sweet aura than usual, which Akutsu can hardly believe. She also saw the same program and did exactly the same beauty routine as him, so the plan backfires on him. But Lily didn't expect him to look so radiant either. This strategy ends up working for both, so they realize they had the same idea. This infuriates them both, and they prepare to fight, but the bell rings at the last minute. They can't fight in the classroom, so the confrontation turns into a duel to see who can win over the other first. Lily uses the old trick of accidentally touching hands when returning the eraser, pretending to be embarrassed. This seems to work well, so Lily takes the initiative, and this hits Akutsu hard. He knows she has the upper hand, but doesn't plan to fall behind and decides to touch her hair, using the excuse of having something on it. This also works well, as if he dodged a hook and landed a direct punch on her. The move is super effective, and Lily turns red, cursing him for challenging an angel. After class, the teacher asks Lily to take the papers to the staff room. It seems quite heavy, so she turns to Akutsu, asking for his help while looking cute. This puts a lot of pressure on him, and it feels like a direct punch to his face, but he manages to withstand it and respond. He catches his breath and rolls up his sleeve, pretending to be strong and finding an excuse to show off his veins, and Lily is impressed. She didn't expect him to respond like this, and she looks at him smiling. So a cold war begins, and that's how they spend the rest of the day, constantly flirting until they both can barely stand. The fight is tied, so Lily wants to use her final strategy. She takes the opportunity when she goes to solve a problem on the board, deciding to use everything in her next attack. As she returns to her seat, she aims at her target and suddenly trips on purpose to fall into Akutsu's chest. She risked everything in this kamikaze attack, following up with a sweet apology, which is a barrage on Akutsu. It seems like the victory is hers, but the teacher suddenly stops them, tired of seeing them flirting in the classroom, so they end up declaring a truce. A few days later, we see Lily irritated, waiting for Akutsu for a date. She yells at him for being late, but it turns out to be two strangers. She tries to act innocent, but ends up encouraging them. Akutsu suddenly appears, asking why they are bothering her. He explains how to treat women, and even the two men recognize that he seems like a nice guy. After his triumphant entry, Akutsu apologizes for being late, but Lily hits him for making her wait. As he looks at her, he sees that she has made quite the effort to look good. Akutsu finds her beautiful, so he keeps staring at her, making her nervous. And it also brings back memories of how adorable she looked on the first day. But she seems embarrassed to remember that day, warning him never to mention it again, or she will activate the collar's power and make him get romantic with the teacher. Akutsu imagines the scene and instantly falls to the ground, begging for forgiveness while everyone around takes photos of them. Lily doesn't seem to mind, and she explains that it's time to hunt demons, but Akutsu hopes they don't find any of his allies so he doesn't become a traitor. Akutsu wonders what they're doing there, and Lily explains that there have been a series of attacks attributed to wild dogs, but all the victims were women, so she thinks it's a demon. She has drawn up a map with the key points where the attacks occurred, and Akutsu explains the range of his detection, which depends on how strong the demon he is looking for is, as long as the demon isn't hiding its power. Lily realizes that they will have to get close to weaker demons, and she thinks that's as good as being useless. Akutsu gets annoyed, but suddenly he feels a strong presence, yet he stays quiet about it. They move on, and the search is unproductive as Akutsu can't sense anyone, so they take a break at a cafe. Akutsu points out that she eats too much and that she'll end up like a meatball if she continues like this, but she scolds him for talking to her like that. She keeps on shaking him until Akutsu feels the disturbing presence again. But this time, it's even stronger. She thinks it's one of his tricks, but her instinct also shows there's something, and the evil aura comes from Hirota, who bangs his head against the window out of jealousy after seeing the two on a date. He scares the people outside, so the two decide to invite him to join them to calm him down. They make up an excuse and he is easily fooled, believing that Lily was just showing Akutsu around the city. Hirota explains that he approached as soon as he saw them, but he shouldn't be there because he was with another person and had said he was going to the bathroom. The girl decides to come, and after seeing him through the window, we learn her name is Yuka, and she doesn't seem very friendly as she instantly calls Lily a shrimp. Yuka can't believe Lily is the girl Hirota talks so much about, thinking she looks like she's in elementary school. This is a sensitive subject for Lily, who now wants to destroy the girl, but she maintains her composure on the outside. Hirota introduces her to Akutsu while Lily wonders about her identity. Hirota presents her as his childhood friend, but Yuka corrects him, saying she's his girlfriend. Lily sees this as an opportunity to provoke them, so she pretends to be disappointed to learn that Hirota asked her out so many times, even while having a girlfriend. This angers Yuka, and she drags Hirota away for a serious talk. Lily celebrates her victory, but Akutsu thinks she didn't need to add fuel to the fire. He wonders if what Lily felt was really just Hirota's jealousy, and Lily seems disappointed, so she decides to call it a day, but warns that she will punish him if she finds out he didn't tell her about any demons. And we see that the demon they were looking for is watching them. After this, we see the two hunting a demon, and Lily intends to humiliate him before exorcising him, but it's actually just a nightmare Akutsu was having. The next day, Lily finds out that Yuka also goes to their school. Yuka says she's there to apologize for mistaking her for an elementary student, and Lily knows she's trying to provoke her, so she also apologizes for mentioning Hirota asking her out. Yuka clarifies that she was just joking when she said she was Hirota's girlfriend, and mentions she studies in the class next door, so she hopes they can become friends. Lily reluctantly agrees, but after Yuka leaves, we see that Lily is annoyed by her and swears to crush her. We see Akutsu feeling down as he remembers the nightmare he had, thinking about what Lily said while exorcising the demon. His friends suddenly appear, and they wonder if he's feeling alright, but Akutsu can't tell them the truth, so he makes up a story about an older woman who appears in his dreams and doesn't let him sleep. The two exchange looks and wonder if he's in love. Akutsu gets nervous, but he remembers Lily, and his expression changes, making them laugh because he's acting like an elementary school kid. They are also surprised by the story of the older woman because they thought he liked Lily, and Akutsu wonders if Hirota would be bothered, but Hirota explains that it's fine because everyone is free to love whoever they want. He admits he can't offer advice since he's never had a girlfriend, revealing that even if things go well, Yuka appears and drives the girls away. Akutsu thinks the ideal solution would be for him to go out with Yuka, but Hirota explains that there are certain issues preventing him from doing that. On the other hand, Lily's expression also changes when Yuka appears. During her lunch break, she approaches Lily with a fake smile, and Lily suspects her intentions but decides to play along. She texts Akutsu that she's with Yuka, but he's sleeping and doesn't read the message. They decide to go shopping for clothes, which Yuka uses as an opportunity to mock her by making her try on clothes that are too big. Lily understands what Yuka is up to, so she responds by offering her a skirt for a small waist, which Yuka doesn't have, making her take a critical blow. They continue to compete in different stores, throwing jabs at each other, and as they continue to hang out, Yuka notices that Lily is always checking her phone. So she wonders if she needs to get home early, but Lily says she still has time. Yuka points to a photo booth. It's Lily's first time, so Yuka decides to take advantage again to mock her, but she changes her mind after seeing how enthusiastic Lily is about it. Meanwhile, Akutsu sees the distress messages Lily sent him, and he rushes over. At the cafe, Lily is excited about her photo and wonders where to put it, leaving Yuka shocked by her cuteness. Yuka admits she invited her because she wanted to get to know her enemy better. She noticed that guys like Lily because she is her complete opposite, but she still doesn't want to lose. She also realizes that maybe the two of them can actually get along, and Lily admits that she also had fun. She clarifies that she doesn't like Hirota, which makes Yuka happy, but she warns her that she will still compete with her as as a woman since she has many good qualities. Lily likes hearing the compliments and thinks that maybe Yuka isn't so bad. Yuka says she needs to head back, but before she leaves, she hands Lily some growth medicine. Lily gets annoyed but decides to forgive her for the day they spent together. Lily meets Akutsu on her way back, and he explains he missed her messages because he was sick. He suddenly senses a presence, and Lily notices this, telling him to lead her to the demon. We see the creature under a bridge, and Lily approaches to fight it while Akutsu stays hidden. The two start to fight, and the wolf wonders why she's attacking him. She mentions the reports of the women being attacked, so he agrees to reveal the truth if she can defeat him, but decides to unleash his true form. But he just puts on pink leggings, and his stats are actually reduced by 50%. Akutsu can't believe that this is his transformation, and Lily hits him where it hurts. She can't believe his outfit, thinking he's cringe, and Akutsu comforts the wolf, forgetting he was supposed to be hidden. The wolf accuses him of being a traitor, but Akutsu denies this. The wolf tells him to attack Lily to prove himself, but he can't do that either. He doesn't want his fellow demon to get hurt, but he can't oppose Lily's will, who prepares to exercise it. He tries to stop them and starts rambling about love, but neither of them care, and they continue to fight. Suddenly, Akutsu pulls out a microphone and starts reciting poetry to teach them both the meaning of love. He gives each a turn to speak, and Lily joins in, but she just says how she regrets ever meeting him because of all the stress he causes her. Akutsu is devastated hearing this, but continues to launch his strange poems, increasingly annoying Lily, trying to prevent her from continuing her attack. The wolf realizes the sacrifice Akutsu is making, and he finally understands what love is. He approaches Akutsu crying, asking him not to punish himself anymore because it's time for him to sort things out on his own. Lily wants to hear the reason for his attacks, and he confesses that he has always been alone. But one day, he started liking leggings, so he couldn't control himself and would attack women that wore them. Lily is irritated by the reason, but doesn't want to waste any more time, so she decides to purify him of his crimes. The wolf thanks Akutsu for being the only person in his life who showed him kindness. The wolf disappears, but we see he was turned into a dog. Lily takes pictures of him and she hands him over to the animal shelter. Akutsu doesn't understand what happened, thinking she was killing the demon, but Lily explains that she just sealed away his wicked thoughts and demonic powers, converting them into normal animals. She explains that she doesn't intend to take the lives of the demons she encounters, though she can't speak for the other angels. Akutsu wonders about the fight, but she explains that her attacks with the scythe were an illusion, and she was holding back her power so she couldn't have hurt him. Akutsu thinks about the other demon she humiliated, but she shows a photo of it, showing how she drew eyebrows on it for ruining her clothes. Akutsu is shocked to learn this, so he completely changes the way he sees her. He was always told that angels were cruel, so he's intrigued to know if Lily is special. Lily wants to eat something to regain energy, but notices that Akutsu is acting strange and wants to know why. Akutsu confesses that she seems kinder than he had imagined, and she pretends to be proud, which bothers him a bit. But in reality, his words mean a lot to her. Everyone always says she's kind, but this is the first time anyone has told her that after seeing her true nature. After that day, we see Lily on top of Akutsu, preparing to give him a kiss. But suddenly, he wakes up, seeing his teacher in front of him, angry at him for daring to sleep in his class. And Akutsu realizes that he is completely in love with Lily. At home, he continues to think about her until someone rings his doorbell, and we see that it's Liz. Akutsu opens and closes the door several times to check that he's not hallucinating, and he apologizes for slamming the door in her face. He wonders what she's doing there, so she explains she came to give him his winter uniform. She asks him how his mission is going, and he realizes he completely forgot about it. He mentions how he found a candidate, but says she turned out to be too problematic, so he needs to continue looking. Liz understands, so she decides to help, but says it's time to go to sleep. Akutsu is nervous about sleeping in the same house, but Liz assures him that she brought everything necessary. He fantasizes about a forbidden romance with her, but she shows him the sleeping bag she brought, and she keeps Akutsu awake because she says strange things in her sleep. sleep. The next morning, Liz reminds Akutsu that they must train after breakfast. This means looking for girls to see if they can be the chosen one, but Akutsu seems weird, so they always end up rejecting him. Liz realizes how bad he is at this, so she decides to train him so he can find a beautiful girl willing to leave her life on Earth to become a demon idol. Akutsu tries to talk to a girl who has a pet, and he makes up a story about looking for his sister's lost puppy. The girl gives him her number in case she finds it, and he finally gets her contact. Liz praises him, but warns him that he must have a strategy for each different person. Later, he ends up meeting Yuka, who mocks him for hitting on people, but she agrees to go out with him because she's bored. They go to a bar and order juices, but Akutsu doesn't know what to say because Liz didn't prepare a guide, and she never expected him to get this far. Suddenly, Yuka starts talking about Lily, asking if he's in love with her. He thinks of her again, and Akutsu can't hide his reactions. Yuka consoles him, but soon the topic about Hirota comes up. She seems hopeless, and Akutsu manages to give her good advice to motivate her. Liz tells him to invite her out on a date, but Akutsu doesn't want to get in Hirata's way. Liz tells him she will need to inform their superiors if he can't complete his training, so he grabs Yuka's arm before she goes, making her blush. Meanwhile, we see Lily is sick, and when she sneezes, she accidentally activates the power of the collar. After that, we see Akutsu walking Yuka home, and it seems they are having a good time together. She's a bit embarrassed and assures him that she won't tell anyone what happened. After she leaves, Liz appears, congratulating him for the good work, but she reminds him about what happened. We see Lily activated the collar in the middle of the date, making Akutsu flirt with the bartender. So Liz warns him not to do that in front of a girl again. Akutsu curses Lily for activating the collar at a random time, but luckily he convinces Liz that he's capable of completing his mission, so she decides to leave. Akutsu is glad that it's over, but he feels the training actually helped, so he becomes motivated to continue his mission. We see Lily as she gets ready, trying to look as cute as possible to win Akutsu over and make him more obedient. However, we later see her flustered, and it's because Akutsu is acting strange, as she finds him more attractive and dazzling than ever, realizing he's trying to do the same thing as her. He suddenly touches her cheek, leaving her blushing. But things start to get frustrating when she threatens to use the collar to annoy him, but he just smiles and ignores her comment. She can't believe he scoffed at her, so she decides to start her plan B. She runs towards him down the hallway in a cute manner with the excuse of asking where the teacher is, which in her mind is an excellent attack, but it's dodged without any reaction. She finds it odd that he responds to the question normally and seems completely immune to her charm. So she wonders if the problem is with her, but she notices that it works fine on the others. She starts another round, but it doesn't matter if she ties up her hair or unbuttons an extra button. Akutsu doesn't react to anything she does. She wonders what's happening when suddenly he says it's a pity she let her hair down again because it looked really nice tied up. The comment almost affects her, so she gets nervous about what just happened and decides to keep her distance for a while, blaming herself for falling into his trap. She doesn't want to accept defeat and thinks she has no choice. So she takes the moment when he's going down the stairs to chase after him. She suddenly runs on the wall like a ninja, only to throw herself at him, making it look like an accident, using him to break her fall. The plan works, but not as she expected because her final move backfires. As Akutsu catches her hand in the air and holds her close, asking if she's okay, she loses it, marking her defeat in combat. She realizes she has been counterattacked, imagining Akutsu laughing at her for underestimating the demons. She has no choice but to run away in embarrassment, but Akutsu doesn't let her because he wants to take her to the infirmary first. Later we see Akutsu alone, and he's happy that his plan is working. On the other hand, Liz is thinking about Akutsu's progress, and she finds it necessary to make more visits. She thinks the secret is to blend in, so she tries a series of disguises until someone walks in on her, and she gets embarrassed. Lily appears again, and she tries to drink water from Akutsu's bottle to make an indirect kiss. This seems to be effective against him, but she's also affected by his reaction. She sees his smirk and realizes he planned this. He pressures her to drink it, but she decides to use one last risky move. She throws the bottle in the air and cuts it with her chains, so she becomes drenched by the water. She thinks it's the perfect move, but Akutsu doesn't hesitate and immediately gives her his jacket so she doesn't catch a cold. There's nothing left for her to try, and Lily is completely defeated. Yuka appears, and Lily asks her how to win a boy's heart, as she is her only hope. Yuka thinks for a moment and suddenly shows the answer to her problems on her phone. After that, Akutsu wonders if they're going to hunt monsters, but Lily explains that she changed the plan because he's been working so hard, so she decides to reward him, saying she'll cook for him. He realizes her intentions but refuses to let it affect him. They go to her apartment, and Akutsu finally starts to get nervous being in her house. She tells him not to be weird, and he finds her stunning in her apron. The fight begins, and Akutsu tells her to put something on, but Lily reveals she has clothes underneath. The food turns out better than he imagined, and to his surprise, it tastes so good that it makes him think non-stop about the depth of the flavors. Lily explains that she's especially good at cooking pasta, and she likes it so much that she prepared several types just for today. She usually eats a lot of pasta during the week, but Akutsu doesn't find it appropriate because her diet should be a bit more varied. She asks about what Akutsu normally eats, but he just mentions bell peppers, which causes Lily to start laughing because she wasn't asking about the ingredients but about the dishes. They argue over whether bell peppers can serve as a main dish, and we see they have forgotten about their competition for the time being. As the boxers throw their gloves on the ground, the date continues, and the next step is to watch a movie while they wait for dessert. Akutsu wants an action movie he saw, but they argue because Lily knows there are a lot of bugs in that movie. Akutsu smiles at discovering a weakness of Lily, but they end up watching a romantic movie. Lily watches it closely, so Akutsu notices that she's still a girl, even though she's an angel. This distracts Akutsu, thinking that the atmosphere is becoming too dangerous, especially when the characters start kissing. Akutsu gets awkward watching it, wondering why Lily picked such a movie, but she seems to be into it. When the scene finally ends, they are both a bit awkward, and Lily decides to get a drink. She avoids looking at him, but ends up tripping. Akutsu tries to grab her, but ends up falling with her, creating the perfect opportunity for them. The two lock eyes as Akutsu feels like he's being pulled in. It seems like something is about to happen, but suddenly Lily's alarm goes off, interrupting the moment. To all Leaf Village ninjas, that is it for today. Recap, do not forget to join our clan, our army, my friend. You can do that by clicking that red button below the video, destroy it for me with that bell. To follow us in YouTube with many videos to come in the following days. So see you later, bro. Peace out.